Good morning, everybody. Let's see, what is the date? January 24th. It's a Wednesday. Usually everyone takes a little bit to get here. So I've done the tube of light for everyone. Let's call in the Lord Gautama Buddha to bring forth his protective blue flame around everyone's aura, out around it 4 inches deep and out around our group, our chat room, whatever you want to call it, as we ask for the angels to come and be with us, the ascended masters, and all those beings of the universe who are of light, who would like to come and share with us. And we're going to call in Mother and Father and let them come and sit within your heart. Just for a moment, relax and see if you can feel. Are we getting to where we can feel their energy and the beat of it, and how it's beginning to intermingle and become a part of you? Very good. Yes. My second says yes. So let's take a minute and say hello to those who have come. Carol, good morning. And who's this one? Barbara and Cavell and Barbara Ward. And right back at you, Barbara, and all of you. Many blessings to all of you. And Christina. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk and share. I know there's not a lot of people here, but you all do feel, and you have an awareness, and you're growing, because a lot of the things we do here are about growing. They're increasing your light quotient. And I'm curious as to hear who is experiencing that. Like Monday, we had the Palladian infusion, and that was certainly to raise your light quotient and have you have a different perception. I believe it was to eliminate fear, correct? Has anyone had any thing like that come to you? So hopefully you're going to feel like sharing. And yesterday I thought that the messages from Divine Mother were very powerful, touched everybody on a very deep level. So why do I want you to share? Because it helps other people believe that you're just not coming here to go through the motion, but that it's helping you, it's doing something, and you're feeling it, and your perception's changing. However that is happening for you. If you could but take a few moments, I know some of you end up writing really well what's feeling inside of you. Actually, we're not doing a technique today because I was told you need to integrate what we've been doing. So see if you can tell me what integration is looking like for you and what you're still wishing for upon this journey that you walk day by day, step by step. So I'm just going to sit for a few moments and see who comes forward. You know, one of the greatest things about the self that you can bring into healing is a humility. And that's being willing to share all of who you are as if you were naked, and believing that while it will be helping you, it's always also helping everyone else. There are no big secrets here, for we are all one. That's why doing the um, meditation. No, when you receive the messages, they're for everyone. Because no matter who you are, you've either already healed it or you haven't yet to heal. So Carol's sharing, I'm feeling a deeper awareness that all is well, no matter what occurs. Yes, and that's another reason I'm asking, because we are facing a world that we probably don't remember as a child, because everything's changing. And we need to all reach to, as we are developing a deeper awareness of mother and father, that we are not alone, that there's support and help. So here's Barbara Ward. Thank you for writing. I have a lot of clarity of many things in my childhood that I was fearful about, and I was inspired to do a lot of self love to my inner child. So profound. I'm so happy to hear it, not that your inner child needed it, but that you found it within yourself to offer that love. And who knows how long it will take to reach all of the inner children, because my belief is every time there's been a disturbance in your life, there's a part of you that peeled off and became an inner child. There's just not one inner child. So it's a process of going through. Some are boys, some are girls. It's an interesting thing to look at, Barbara, and they're all a part of you. And that means a part of you is becoming enlivened, and you'll feel a freer awareness and perceive things differently. That's the gift it gives us by being willing to share and to understand more of what is happening. Anybody else? Perhaps you might want to even share what you were afraid of. Uh, Everyone else, before we did this, what were your fears? It wasn't really about saying what your fear was. The Palladians gave you, whether it was foods or stones or whatever, but in the awareness of bringing that to you, it was going to help you. Barbara agrees with me that there are inner children. That's right, there are. And actually, 144,000. And some, we don't know where they are, but then there's you. There are also about 16 identical beings like you, not all on Earth, but at different places in the planet. I have seen from a distance someone who was an identical look as mine. I believe Carol, who's on here, was with me. It's really amazing. And earlier in my life, I had met one. I worked at the bank, and she walked in, and we were identical. And when we spoke, we had very similar lives. So there's just so much to learn and to understand that while you're here, it's not all of you that's here. There are parts of you that are going places, because remember, everything's happening right now. You may think of past lives, but those lives are all going on right now. So when, let's say, for instance, I'll use myself, when I have healed a piece that's not working out now, I know that throughout my consciousness, which is 144 total thousand beings, that is shifting everywhere. So that allows that soul to have a greater freedom and to perceive and to grow and become the higher consciousness. And Carol's validating, yes, she was with me that day. It was at IKEA, I believe. We saw this lady. We're like, oh my God, that looks like me. It's amazing. So, Jules, good morning. We're talking about how everyone's feeling after having so many healing things happen here while we have our group. And I believe last week it was about loving the self. Yesterday or Monday was that one was about letting go of fear. And I just want to see how you're resonating with that. Yesterday, she sat in her hut, yes, on the mountain, and focused on what is broken and what I can get rid of to increase my happiness. I spent the day going through items I don't need. That's powerful. You know, there's just so many ways that simple things make such a shift within us. So I'm here to support you all in doing that, to discovering this beautiful light that you have always been. And for whatever reason, in the human experience, we choose to take it back on to release it once again. Part of it, I believe, is to help other people move and to show them that it can happen. But part of it is for another level of depth in your own consciousness to move forward. So, how about you, Christina? How are you feeling after these couple of days and last week? If you're still here. Mm-hmm. You know, when you make your comment, Barbara, it makes me think of the Mount Shasta mountain. And you can climb up the mountain. I think it's about 7,000 in the area that we're allowed to go to. And a lot of people go up higher, but they don't come back down. You can get lost there. So one day, Douglas went, my husband, and I had to send someone up after him because it's just so awesome. There's beautiful colored diamonds everywhere, and there were saucers that were everywhere in that shape also. So when he showed us the pictures, he could show us what he got lost in. So my friend brought him back down, but then we knew that it was such a kind of like what you would think of a fairy place, but they're different things. They were diamonds and saucers and light. And this was just on the land, more towards the top of the mountain. It was very powerful. So let me see. Jules, good morning. Glad you made it. It's been a clean, sort, and toss period. So you're also someone who's clearing it out, getting rid of it. So let's all know as we're doing that, we're clearing out stuff from within us. And that's going to support the thought, the pattern of the awareness to have its way too. You just pull out the black scarves or unwrap the mummy, whatever it is that's going to release it from a place in your consciousness. And good morning, Barbie. We're sharing how we felt from all the healing this week. And I'm sure you understand. For me, the plating healings and other healings we have done in the past, such as the throat clearing and Isis and a while back, are always very profound. Well, I thank you for that. But what I want to know truly is how has it affected you? How has it helped you? How has it changed your life? How it changed your perception? She feels them on a physical level as well, which makes me very humble about the vast support we are receiving on this plane. That's very good. And there's always someone. There's the whole angel, many, many angels. I think next week I'm going to be playing one group of the angels, uh, of them singing. And you will feel the energy touch you just from their song. So I think we're going to be doing that on Monday. And then there's all the teachers. I don't like to call people guides because it's more known as the lower vibration on the psychic level. So I call them teachers, and then most of the teachers I have are ascended masters. And it's in that process, it's to even understand ascended masters that they either understand you're doing it or you're not doing it. And if you're not doing it, they won't come back anymore. So their life and their existence and that space has gotten to such an importance, like this time right now is a very important time. And I'm sure they're very busy. I do have some here that have stayed and are still around me because we are a part of that which is the light that's going to help to heal the earth. So everybody has their job. And while we don't think of it that way, for me, I work for God. I don't have a job in the earth sphere, anymore at a bank or whatever it is you all might do. My work is every day getting up, being joyful, loving God, and knowing I have the opportunity to share that with everyone and to help them understand that that's only going to bring goodness and happiness in your world. And those things you yearn for or desire are going to come quicker when your field is no longer screaming out the negative things. And that's when they can really hear you, because otherwise the noise of the negative piece is too loud. They can't hear you then. So here's Jules again. This healing will have the ripple effect and make a shift in my life from the heavy weighted to the lighter spirit. It's been a long season, and it's time to step into the love. And I just have a wave of light moving through me, and thank you for your words, because it will be a lighter ripple, just like the ripple that just came from me as you spoke the words. But that's true for everyone. You need to make the choice. Every day it's about remaking the choice. And in those days when you do make a blunder, a fall, or a trip, forgive, get back up, and attempt to see it differently. There's a lot in that whole perception. And I have a book someday I'm going to write that it's only about the perception. It's about where you hold your consciousness and how you perceive the world around you and interact with it. There are those who can become withdrawn, and that's not what I'm talking about, and only look at the world and not interact. But truly, it's our interaction with the world that offers an opportunity for difference and for change and for the light to really breathe and exist. So Jules is saying that it's beautiful. And what everyone doesn't yet realize, perhaps you do, that love that you can experience is always another level, always growing. I still have growing. I still have more illuminated light coming to me. So don't think that it's next week or a month from now that you're going to be where you want to be. It is a journey. It's a path. And it's always, always becoming more. Okay. Myra is here. Hello, Myra. We're all talking about how the interaction of our work we've been doing this week, last week, is making shifts, or how you perceive yourself differently, perhaps, whether it's about love or about fear, or some unique way it's touched you and allowed you to be in the world somewhat differently. If you'd like to share, we all would appreciate, because what it does is it builds trust in the process. It helps us to, when we believe, we really believe. So we can hear it. That's why I do speak about some of the things that have occurred for me, because it helped me have faith about becoming who I am. And that's what you all need to start experiencing. And I apologize, I'm from Indiana. You all comes out every once in a while. Can have the opportunity to also believe and to anchor your root deeper into the consciousness of Mother. Let's see, where was I? Barbara. I keep being drawn to the sound to heal fear whether light language, kirtan music, or chanting. Very interesting. Sound can heal anything. I can remember in the beginning, I was the one who could not sing at church or at school. I would like scream, and people hated me. And a lot of people didn't like me because I just felt moved to let things out. Well, there's been a huge change in my development with the love. We do Babaji meditations, and in that you have to sing the 5,000-year-old ceremony. And it's in, can't get the word right now. But anyway, when I first went around to the country to different places, some people reported back to my teacher that I sounded terrible. I was so embarrassed because it was still that same thing that I didn't want to just whisper it into it. And he said, don't worry, that doing and singing the ceremony will change your voice, which it has. And I laugh now at all the trauma that went on in the observation from other people about it. And now it probably wouldn't bother them at all because there's a God essence present in my voice. So Barbara, I hear that you bring this up for purpose, interested in sound, and that is the secret to healing with sound. It can't be just Barbara singing. It must be the interaction and the harmony between you and God, who is truly the only healer. So you must surrender and work with it to get your voice to be that of God's and to allow it to not have an opinion, to not have a choice or a decision. So there you go. That's what your thing said to me. And to just have it be something else when you don't know which music is the one for fear until you really either work with someone who knows or work with your voice so it will tell you when you get an interconnection with God. So he speaks to you. Okay? So here's Myra. She's lighter in her heart chakra. I feel better with decision making. Surrendering has been coming up these days. So wonderful. See how great it is to hear people share? And I'm going to go back. Did I forget part of what I was telling you? I don't know. Barbara Ward, I am able to move easily, shift my consciousness from sadness, overwhelm, and all that's going on in the world to moving from blame, judgment, and realizing there's a higher purpose. That is music to my ears. That is one of the major experiences for people to achieve. When there is no reaction, there is a choice of bringing yourself back into your truth. Very nice. Let's see. If I didn't sing out, you wouldn't have felt it. Singing is about letting it sing itself. I want to agree with you, but I'm not sure. You wouldn't have felt it. Singing is about letting it sing itself. Okay. But what is true is I was a singer in another life for God, and I was remembering it, but not having evolved my consciousness to where the energy was that clear. And you're very welcome, Mara. Time to get my voice restored. You have inspired me. I miss it. Yes. So, what that says for both of you who've mentioned voice, it means doing the healing in the throat and about yourself. I didn't know all that had happened. I remember I was in Thailand where we all went to meditate for a month or two. And one of the students there looked at me and he goes, "How did you get your throat to turn gold?" I go, "What?" I wasn't yet able to see that myself. He goes, "Your throat is the most beautiful gold and it's about 7 inches around and you don't even know it." I go, "You're right." So it's not always that you're going to see things. It's going to all depend. Well, then you got to know. I took it another level of intensity. And I took off from healing 3 years to get connected to all that was going on, all that had emerged from the work I had already done. And I've been doing this now, 35, 36 years. So, like I said, it isn't going to be quick, but when you get it, it's very, very powerful. Okay? And Jules is telling Barbara she likes it. Now, does everyone who's sharing feel more part of the group? It's different than just sitting out there and seeing names. I think it's powerful to move in your heart and share so we do become that one that I talked to you about. So I was telling about something. Shasta is another whole thing I could, because we've went many, many times. We would usually go for the summer, and I would have groups come, and then they'd go home, and another group come, and we would rent a house there so we could see the mountain. I guess you've heard the mountain can be very magical. Well, Carol went with us numerous times, and her and I can both tell you that we saw all of a sudden up on the mountain of snow all these multiple colors shining at us. And then we realized that there was a ship, and the bottom lights of the ship were what was reflecting in our eyes that we saw. We also saw many times many ships come and go down within. Those were with our own eyes. We lived where there was a yard on our right, and I could see people, but they looked like big, puffy pillow people. So I call them the big pillow people, the white pillow people. And they would smile at me, and they'd all be having a party, but they were always sitting, and they would be talking to each other. So we had a friend, the gentleman who lived as Jesus, Scott Huckabee, and I said, "What is it about the white pillow people?" He goes, "Oh, they're everywhere. You can converse with them. They talk back." I'm like, it's an amazing place to sit and evolve your third chakra. And we tried taping, watching, and nothing would come on the tape. It would be black. We also had, first it was one person of a gold fire standing outside our bedroom. And it would get to where that fire would go like this, and we were to come out. And by the last time we went, that we stayed at this house, there was 3 of them. We go out the next day, and there was nothing burnt, no evidence of fire. We thought we were like, loo, loo, loo. But then other people come, and they also saw them wave their hands. So we still don't know, because we didn't want to go out and then not come back. We didn't know, because the conscious there is very high, and you just don't always know. You have to follow your inner guidance. So let's see. Yes, no one. So I hope you like me experience telling you about our journey. We used to go all over the country teaching the Babaji meditation. The first one's the heart mantra, and met a lot of people and had a lot of experiences, and developed. It was all a development. I can remember one day we were at out in Aspen. Yes, do you believe we went to Aspen? I actually worked in the think tank And from this lady's house, there was a snowfall, and she was up, not all the way up, but kind of high, her house. So we got in the car, we had to go somewhere else, and it's like, that round pavement that goes around and around. Well, and then it would be just cut off like a cliff. We're driving down, and all of a sudden the car just starts tuning and doing its own thing, spinning, and we're looking at each other. And we just kept saying, God's with us. We know God's with us. And all of a sudden the car started to straighten out, and we continued on our path. Everything we hear, what is the name? It snows something. We were very close to going, and it would not have been a good fall. Well, unless God took care of it, but it just started spinning, and we're looking. I don't think we said much because it was like we were holding our focus. And believe it or not, the car went straight, and we're fine. And we also drove a car that when it started being a blizzard, we did not know it was a borrowed car out in Colorado, didn't have windshield wipers, but we made it. So we've had some interesting things that have tested our faith. And whoever is in here and doesn't uh, know the depth of faith you can have, uh, hear my words. It will get tested, and you will have to hold that line and believe. That's why I think it's good for you all to share, because there's a similar experience happening for everyone. And now is the time for you to ask questions and to know more. And what I want to say to you is it's all purposeful. There's so much to heal within you that right now you may not know. Okay. Anything else? Very good. I'm trying to think what else you might like to hear. That is where I bought my crystal bowls. We walked in, and of course, hello, Lauren. Scott Huckabee was there, and Carol and I looked at each other. You could feel the room, that someone profound and peaceful, and there he was, playing a bowl. And from there, we became very, very good friends. We've heard from him recently. It's not sorry you're late. You can re-listen to this one. We're just sharing. Have you seen a difference in how what we've been doing here on this channel has changed your world any? That's what everyone's mentioning. And what it does is let everybody have faith. I'm a little different. I don't do the psychic. Could I? Yes, but I would have to give up my connection with the masters. There's only 3 people in the world I know to this point that I've met and have been received permission to do the psychic realm along with the master realm. So you got to choose. It's one or the other. So Lauren says it's helping. That's great. That's really great. Helping everyone see the light, to know there's choice, and there's a place that you'll be supported if you just choose the light and believe. And those are simple words, I know, but in this period of time, it's becoming to be the word that, even my getting married, we met in Thailand. I came home because I was married and filed for divorce in the county I lived in with my husband. And about 6 weeks, they called me and said, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work this way. You have to go back and start over at a different county. And we didn't want to do that because Doug didn't want to have anything to do with it not being perfectly legal. So We hung up. We put it on a platter and gave it to Saint Germain. We have a huge picture from one of the centers of the I Am of Saint Germain. So, what can you do with this? 15 minutes later, we got a call, and my lawyer said, the judge wants to speak to you. So I got on the phone, and she was a woman. She said, if you have time, I would like to give you your divorce over the phone. I understand that that's a ridiculous thing to hold to the two of you who love each other so much. I swear to God. So I got divorced over the phone. Well, and you know how that went. That's been 30 years ago. So powerful. And it was in New Jersey, and that's certainly not something heard of in New Jersey. So we knew the masters came to our wedding, and they were dancing and having a great time. We got married here in Florida, although we didn't live in Florida. So I guess I'm trying to really help you believe and have faith in how much my life changed. It wasn't that it was a bad life, but I was married to a husband who thought I did weird things. I think at one time he even called me a witch. And I said, I'm not a witch, you don't get it. Because I was starting to get to that point where I did a lot of sessions. And he went up to my room and he'd be sweating. I go, what are you up here for? I don't know. I get told to come up here. And I'm going, yeah, Spirit's talking to you. Well, that would freak him out. So it wasn't a good match for me and what God wanted me to be for him. So you never know how things are or how they happen. I just kept picking my feet up. And it's funny, my husband and Kevin, we were starting to get ready to build an extension on our home so I could have kind of like a center there. And when I talked to my friend, she says, don't do it. I go, why? I see a beautiful white fence around a house for you, and that's going to be very happy. So then we didn't do it. And the masters helped me through all these things. So I hope I'm helping you understand that there's just so much light and so much help for you that if you want to be the light, you can. You just need to choose it and work on this physical body that has distortion. Sometimes I'd have one healing and it would just set me into another, well, I don't know what you want to call it, but I have to call back and get another one. It was so deep. Because sometimes patterns are like the DNA. They're from one to another. And what can I say? So, any other questions? Or I'll let you go for the day. And see you on Monday. And I'm going to write a note about the children singing, the angels. They appear as children. On Monday. All right. So, keep doing your insight within yourself. Opening your chakras. Yes, happy weekend to everyone. Full of laughter and happiness and being grateful. And sharing that, radiating that, because that's what, in this 11th hour, our world needs. Well, it's not like I'm giving advice today. I'm answering questions that people would have about what we're doing. The advice has been all day long, so you might want to go back and re-listen to it. And I wish everybody a weekend. I have a client that's coming up, and think about what it all means to you. If you want to find your first person to be speaking with is your higher self. It's a person that knows you and knows all of God. So you do not want to work with someone who isn't connected to God, and that's what your higher self is. The higher part of you does know all of God and can help you grow. All right, so much love. Have a great and happy weekend. I think the snow's over for a while in most areas. And get out and enjoy the weather. Many blessings.